In the heart of Seoul, the city that never sleeps, lurks the most feared mafia empire, an organization that strikes terror into anyone who dares to cross its path. At the helm is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the cold, emotionless leader. Ruthless in his dealings, calculating in every move, and with an icy stare that could pierce through anyone's soul, he is known to never let emotions cloud his judgment, especially not emotions towards women. For Namjoon, women were nothing but a distraction, something weak people fell for. His mind was solely focused on power, wealth, and maintaining his position as the most dangerous man in the underworld. He had always believed love made men weak. That is, until he saw her. It all started on a rainy evening. Namjoon had been heading to a high-profile meeting with the heads of other rival mafia families. His expensive black suit was soaked from the rain, yet his mood was darker than the sky above. As he stepped out of his bulletproof car, his attention was drawn to the opposite side of the street. There she was. An innocent girl just finishing her shift at a nearby flower shop, rushing to make it home before the rain poured harder. Her soft features, wide, doe-like eyes, and the simplicity of her presence captured his attention in an instant. Her innocence radiated from her as if she didn't belong in this dark, corrupt world. For a brief second, Namjoon felt his heart stir, a feeling so foreign that he almost dismissed it, but he couldn't take his eyes off her. As she fumbled with her umbrella and struggled against the wind, a group of thugs emerged from the shadows, circling around her like predators. Namjoon watched, intrigued as they harassed her. Normally, he wouldn't care about such trivial matters, but something about the way In looked so scared, so fragile, sparked something within him. Without thinking, he moved. His men noticed the change in his demeanor immediately, but they didn't question it. He crossed the street in long strides, his eyes never leaving In as she backed away from the group. The thugs laughed, enjoying her fear. Just as one of them reached for her, Namjoon grabbed the man's wrist, twisting it with such force that a sickening crack echoed through the street. The thug screamed, falling to his knees, and the others quickly backed off, realizing who they were dealing with. In looked up, startled, her large eyes meeting his cold, calculating ones. She had no idea who he was, but there was something about him that terrified and intrigued her all at once. "Leave," Namjoon ordered the thugs. They scattered instantly, fearing for their lives. In was still trembling, clutching her umbrella as if it could protect her from this dangerous man standing in front of her. "You should be more careful," Namjoon said, his voice low and smooth, sending shivers down her spine. Thank you," In stammered, unsure of what else to say. For a moment, Namjoon just stood there, staring at her. His mind raced. What was this feeling? Why did he feel an urge to protect her, to keep her away from this dangerous world? He had never felt anything like this before. She was different, too pure for his dark reality. Without warning, Namjoon made a decision that would change both their lives forever. He reached out, grabbed In by the wrist, and before she could even protest, pulled her into his car. "What are you doing?" In cried, struggling in his grip. "Taking you somewhere safe," Namjoon said, his voice betraying no emotion. He didn't give her a choice, nor did he plan to. The ride was silent, with In glancing nervously at the man beside her, her mind spinning with fear and confusion. Why was he doing this? Who was he? After what felt like hours, they arrived at a luxurious mansion on the outskirts of the city. Namjoon dragged her inside, past the surprised looks of his men. He led her into a large room, finally letting go of her wrist. "Why did you bring me here?" In asked, her voice small. "Because you're mine now," Namjoon said simply, as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. "Yours?" In's heart raced. "You can't just kidnap me." "I can do whatever I want," Namjoon replied, his voice cold. "And right now, what I want is you. You're safer with me than out there." In stared at him, realizing that he wasn't going to let her go. His eyes, though emotionless, seemed to hold a strange sense of possession over her. It frightened her, but it also intrigued her. Who was this man? and why did he seem so determined to keep her close? As the days passed, In found herself trapped in Namjoon's world, surrounded by his dangerous lifestyle. Yet, no matter how cold or distant he acted, there were moments when his guard slipped, moments when he seemed almost human. She caught glimpses of the man behind the mask, and slowly she began to see that even someone as ruthless as Namjoon had a heart, no matter how deeply buried it was.